They say every pack bond hums when it's real, a low, pulsing sound beneath the skin. Mine, silent as a broken radio. I'm Lila Rowan, 26, and the beta's wife. Correction, technically the beta's wife, emotionally the household ghost with great hair. My husband Damon married me out of duty. The pack council wanted a merger, his father wanted an heir, and Damon wanted her, his ex, the alpha's sister, the woman whose name still lingers like smoke in his den. Dark humor keeps me alive, because if I didn't laugh, I'd probably eat him, and not in the fun way. If you've ever been loved like an afterthought, hit subscribe. You'll fit right in. Chapter 1. Our house has 3 floors, 8 rooms, and 1 emotionally constipated beta. Most mornings start with silence thick enough to chew. Damon sits at the end of the long oak table, reading pack reports like they personally offended him. His shoulders flex under his shirt when he turns the page, and I hate that I notice. He doesn't look at me, he never does. "Morning, sunshine," I say, dropping into the chair across from him. "Coffee's black." "Like your soul, no response." I sip mine anyway, pretending the heat doesn't burn more than the indifference. It's not like I expected a fairy tale. I knew Damon before the vows, the stoic beta in training, the golden heir with perfect posture and a permanent stick somewhere unfortunate. When his father announced the alliance marriage between our families, Damon didn't protest. He just nodded once, like he was signing a death warrant. Lucky me, the death was emotional. I wasn't supposed to marry him. My parents, both respected Omegas with healer bloodlines, had plans for me far away from alpha politics. But the Silver Hollow Pack wanted stability, and the only way to keep peace after a rogue uprising was to bind 2 powerful bloodlines together. Enter me, the convenient bride. The problem? Damon's heart was already taken, by Celene Ashford, the Alpha's younger sister. She was everything I wasn't, graceful, strategic, beloved. Her wolf shone like sunlight through glass. Mine? Well, she had stage fright. Celene left the pack suddenly before our engagement. Rumors said she couldn't handle being Beta's second. Others whispered she'd been sent away by the Alpha himself for reasons never shared. Either way, she left Damon shattered, and I walked right into the ruins. "You're late," he mutters finally, not looking up from his papers. I grin. "You're welcome." A muscle ticks in his jaw. He folds the paper neatly. Beta code for, "I'm resisting the urge to strangle you." "You shouldn't antagonize me before a council meeting," he says, his voice low and cool. "And you shouldn't marry women you don't intend to talk to." But here we are. His gaze flicks up, icy blue meeting mine for the first time in days. There's something sharp there. Regret, annoyance, hunger, I can't tell. I smirk anyway because silence feels like surrender. And I've done enough of that to last a lifetime. Our marriage has 3 rules. 1. Public unity. We play happy for the pack. 2. Private distance. Separate rooms. Separate lives. 3. No questions about the past. Naturally, I break all 3 before breakfast. "How's your insomnia?" I ask, feigning casual interest. "Still waking up at 3 a.m. to stare dramatically out the window?" He exhales through his nose. "You enjoy this, don't you?" "Immensely." I consider it emotional cardio. His lips twitch, almost a smile, almost. Then the moment dies, like all the others. After breakfast, I head into town for my usual dose of sanity. Gossip and coffee at the Pack Cafe, Moon Brew. That's when I hear it. "She's back." The whisper ripples through the air like an electric current. I freeze mid-step. Celene. The name rolls off tongues like a prayer and a curse combined. She's back in Silver Hollow, and suddenly every bruise on my pride starts to ache. By the time I return, Damon's car is already in the driveway. I step into the house, and there she is. Celene, all golden hair and glass-cut cheekbones, standing in my living room like she owns it. She turns, her eyes softening when they meet his. "Damon," she whispers. My husband doesn't move, doesn't blink. He just stares at her like a starving man watching the moon rise. And that's when I know. My marriage is about to get interesting. Dark humor kicks in before heartbreak can. I drop my keys and smile sweetly. Well, I say, this just got awkward. Chapter 2. I once read that wolves mate for life. Apparently, my husband missed that memo. Or maybe he just made it out of obligation and saved his passion for nostalgia. Celene stands there, framed by moonlight pouring through our front windows like a cinematic betrayal. She hasn't aged a day. Her hair glows like spun sunlight. Her scent, rain and lilies, saturates the air. Even my wolf stirs, curious, jealous, restless. Lila, she says, smiling faintly. It's been a long time. I tilt my head, smiling back. Not long enough, apparently. Damon's sharp intake of breath is the only sound in the room. Celene laughs softly. That delicate, melodic sound everyone used to fawn over. I used to like her once, before she broke him, before she became the invisible third party in my marriage. Now she's just an echo that won't fade. I retreat to the kitchen before my sarcasm morphs into homicide. Damon follows, his energy tense and unreadable. You could have warned me, I say, yanking open the fridge. I didn't know she was coming. She walked into our house like she still had the key. So forgive me if I doubt that his jaw tightens. She's here on alpha business. Uh-huh, I grab a soda. And I'm sure the alpha personally requested she bat her eyelashes at you while she's at it. Lila. He says my name like a warning, like a prayer he's afraid to finish. What? I snap. Am I supposed to smile and curtsy while your ex makes herself at home? Maybe I should dust off the guest room, or better yet, the marital one. I barely use it. He exhales, rubbing a hand over his face. You're impossible. Funny, I say, sipping my drink. That's what your father said when I refused to sit quietly through your emotional midlife crisis at 29. Our wedding was small but lavish. Silver Hollow knows how to put on a show. White roses, moonstone centerpieces, and a beta groom who didn't smile once. He looked like a man heading to war. I looked like a woman pretending not to notice. Everyone said we were fated, perfect, balanced. They didn't see how his eyes never met mine when we exchanged vows. They didn't hear me whisper "I do" to a man still haunted by a ghost. And now that ghost is back, with perfect posture and zero shame. By the next day, the rumor mill has evolved into a full-blown scandal. I can't step outside without catching the latest gossip. Did you see her? She's prettier than ever. I heard the beta's wife looked furious. Correction, is furious. At Moonbrew Cafe, even the barista looks apologetic, handing me my coffee. Extra syrup, she says softly. Thought you might need it. I grin. Unless you can spike it with holy water, it won't help. She snorts. I like you. Yeah, my husband doesn't. But thanks. That evening, Damon announces Celene will be staying in the pack house for a few weeks. I blink. In our house? No, the Alpha's residence. She's assisting with territory negotiations. Oh, wonderful, I say sweetly. So she'll only see you during daylight hours. How considerate of fate, he sets down his fork with a sharp clink. Can you stop turning everything into a joke? I'd stop, I say quietly, if it wasn't the only thing keeping me from falling apart. Silence, the kind that says you've hit too close. Then he does something I don't expect. He softens. You don't have to compete with her, Lila. I meet his gaze evenly. That's good. Because I stopped playing second place a long time ago. Later that night, I can't sleep. I wander to the balcony, staring at the silver stretch of forest beyond our property. The air smells like pine, smoke, and something heavier. Regret, maybe. Behind me, the door slides open. Damon steps out, barefoot, shirtless, dangerous. Couldn't sleep? He asks. Your ex-fiancé's back in town. Hard to find peace in that kind of chaos, he leans against the railing beside me, arms crossed. The moonlight gilds the scars on his shoulders. Old battles, older wounds. I didn't love her the way you think I did, he says finally. Enlighten me, I murmur. Because from where I'm standing, you've spent years living like she died, and I'm her replacement. He doesn't deny it. He doesn't have to. But then he says something unexpected. You're not what I thought you'd be. I arch a brow. Meaning? You don't bend. You don't yield. You fight. Even when you shouldn't, my heart betrays me with a flutter. And here I thought you married me for my personality. He smirks, just barely. That's debatable. For the first time, the tension shifts. Not gone, but changing, thickening, becoming something else. We stand there in silence, moonlight caught between us like a fragile thread. Then I laugh softly. Don't look at me like that, Damon. You'll confuse the neighbors, he shakes his head, a ghost of a smile tugging at his lips. You're impossible. And yet, I say, walking back inside, you keep following me. Chapter 3. The moon gathering is supposed to be about unity. Translation: everyone puts on silks and secrets, then pretends we aren't sharpening knives under the table. I wear crimson, not for subtlety, for survival. Crimson means, don't mistake me for the beta's wallpaper. You're overdressed, Damon says when he sees me at the top of the stairs. Or you're underimpressed, I shoot back, lifting my chin. The gown hugs my waist and spills like liquid wine to the floor. My hair is a soft updo threaded with silver pins, a nod to tradition, and to the fact that my wolf likes shiny things. Which is it? His gaze trips over me and stumbles. It's quick, but I catch it. A flicker, a crack, a tremor. He swallows it like a confession. Fine, he says. You look fine. I hope you never have to identify me in a police lineup, I say sweetly, hooking my arm through his for the cameras waiting below. Your adjectives will kill me faster than the murderer. He exhales a laugh he tries to hide. I file it away. Evidence exhibit A. The beta can laugh. We step out into the courtyard and Silver Hollow has transformed. Lanterns hang like captive moons. The bonfire in the center roars so bright the shadows flinch. Wolves move everywhere. Suits, gowns, flashes of teeth. The Alpha stands on the dais with the council, all white and iron and expectation. And then there's Celene. She's in white, of course. Silk cut on the bias, $1,000 apology to gravity. Her eyes sweep the crowd, land on us, soften into something that used to own Damon. My stomach cinches. My wolf bristles. Lila, Celene says when we reach her, voice like bell glass. You look radiant. And you look inevitable, I reply, smiling with all my molars. Damon's hand flexes where my arm curls through his. A subtle squeeze, warning or reassurance. I can't tell. I stand taller anyway. Shall we? He murmurs, guiding me toward the dais for the ceremonial oath. I don't like ceremonies. I like receipts. But the pack loves a show. The Oathkeeper hands us a shallow bowl engraved with claw marks, the silver rim nicked from generations of performance. Tradition says each ranked pair touches the blade, lets one drop fall into the flame, then pledges aloud. The blade kisses Damon's thumb. One bead of crimson, hiss. He passes it to me. Cool metal, sharp truth. I press the edge and don't flinch. My drop joins his in the fire, a brief ruby star swallowed by gold. The Oathkeeper nods, satisfied. Unity, he intones. Unity, I echo, and it doesn't catch in my throat. We turn to face the crowd for the pledge. Damon speaks first. His voice is the one the forest obeys, measured, iron-laced. We stand for Silver Hollow, he says. We protect our borders, our bonds, our peace. We answer moon and law I follow, heart strange and light. And when peace fails, I add, we answer each other. A murmur brushes the crowd. Some don't like an omega adding words. Some do. Celene's chin lifts. Damon's head tips toward me, a fraction, almost a question. The Alpha raises a hand. Begin the blazing. Music ignites. The first dance isn't romantic, it's tactical. The ranked pairs circle the bonfire, timing steps to the drum. I'm not a dancer, but I'm good at pretending to be unbothered. That counts. Damon's palm settles at the small of my back. It's a brand through silk. We move. The drum thunders. The air smells like pine resin and smoke and that clean, devastating Damon scent. Storm metal, cedar, a hint of heat I've only known in theory. "Keep your eyes on me," he says, quiet. "I would if you were interesting," I reply, eyes everywhere. He huffs something that might be a laugh. "Fine. Try not to step in the fire. No promises." I spin under his arm and end up closer. The drum shifts. The circle tightens. Tradition says the beta may claim a kiss if the crowd chants for it. Tradition can mind its business. They do chant because of course they do. "Kiss, kiss, kiss!" I grin big enough to be seen from the border. "Think they'll settle for a high five?" Damon's gaze drops to my mouth. For a breath, the world forgets to turn. He leans, half-inch, a wish, and the Alpha's steward appears between us like a summoned ghost. "Beta," she says smoothly, "negotiators from North Wild arrived early. The Alpha asks for you." The spell shatters. "Go," I say, steady. "I can survive 5 minutes without your riveting conversation." Damon hesitates. "Stay near the flame," he instructs, "and if you smell ash on the wind—" "I'll find higher ground," I finish. It's an old pack code for trouble. "I can read." His eyes catch mine. "I know." He leaves, the crowd absorbing him like foam over a rock. Celene appears at my elbow, as if the universe is in on the joke. "Old habits," she says, watching him cut through bodies without touching them. "He always ran toward the crisis." "And away from the conversation," I say. She angles her face toward me. "He isn't cruel, Lila." "No," I agree, sipping sparkling water. "He's careful. And careful people break hearts by accident." Something tightens in her expression. "I never meant to hurt him." "You didn't," I say. "You just left." The hurting happened later. We stand like that, 2 women with matching regrets and different costumes. The music softens, the bonfire pops, a pocket of silence opens, and Celene steps into it. "May I give you advice?" she asks. "Is it run?" I say, because I tried that emotionally. The terrain was bad. She almost smiles. "No, it's—" Don't confuse his quiet for absence. He looks like he's standing still, but he's holding up things you can't see. My laugh is gentle and sharp at once. "That's beautiful," I say. "Is that what he told you when he didn't show up?" Her cheeks flush. There, a dent in the porcelain. "You think I wanted to leave? The council decided—" "The council always decides," I say. "But we sign with our feet." A bell strikes. The Alpha lifts a goblet. "To treaties that hold," he proclaims, "and enemies that fail." Everyone drinks. I pretend to. The bubbles are wasted on my temper. I step away from Celene and into the river of guests, letting scents and whispers wash over me. That's when I notice the stranger. Not a stranger exactly, a man in a dark suit with a smile like a scratched match, standing where the torchlight fails. His scent rides under the smoke, sweet, rotten, frostburn. Wrong. His eyes find mine and don't blink. A rogue? A spy? A bored dignitary with bad cologne? He lifts his goblet in a private toast. My wolf rises, fur bristling. Instinct says, higher ground. I scan for Damon. I catch a glimpse. His profile in the council alcove, jaw hard, hands moving in tight gestures. He doesn't feel me looking, and that stings for reasons I hate. "Lila," the Alpha's steward calls from a few feet away, appearing with a small lacquered box. "A delivery came for the Beta's household. It bears your name, I take it, because I collect problems. The box is old wood, claw scratched on the lid, sealed with red wax stamped with a crescent. The seal is broken, already wrong. Inside, an envelope. Inside that, a single card, white as bone, on it in a neat hand. What he won't touch, we will. Below, a smear of something dark that isn't ink. My heart does a backflip off a cliff. Dark humor tries to keep up. Cute, I murmur. Stalker chic. Is everything all right? The steward asks. Define all right, I say lightly, closing the lid. If I scream, it'll be after dessert. I slide the box into my clutch because I enjoy a challenge and have no self-preservation. When I look up, the man with the wrong scent is gone. Of course he is. The drum shifts again, bass rolling like distant thunder. The bonfire spits, sparks high, higher, too high. I smell it then, ash laced with oil. Not the clean smoke of tradition. Sabotage. High ground, I whisper, already moving. The first scream comes from the southern edge of the courtyard, where the young ones cluster. I run before my mind catches up. Wolves surge, instincts flooding the space like cold water. A torch topples, flames licking the hem of a banner. A pup freezes in the path of the falling pole, eyes wide. I don't think. I move. Silk tears. Heat bites. I grab the child around the middle and roll, the pole slamming into cobblestone where her small body was a blink ago. Sparks sting my shoulder, a constellation of pain. The pup sobs into my neck, fingers knotted in my hair. It's okay, I breathe, voice steady because hers is breaking. I'm not flammable. Much hands are on us, guards, healers, mothers. The child is lifted, checked, passed to her frantic parent. I push to my feet and turn right into Damon's chest. His hands are on my arms before his eyes are on my face. Are you hurt? His voice is low and feral, the wolf close enough to taste. I'm fine, I say, wincing as the heat makes itself known. My dress, however, has entered a new era. He looks down at the singed fabric, then at my shoulder, then at me. Something seismic shifts behind his eyes. The world narrows to the span of his hands, and the way he steps into my gravity without permission. You moved before anyone, he says, wonder slicing through worry. Someone had to, I say. You were busy negotiating peace. He exhales, something close to a laugh dying into something close to a groan. Gods, Lila. And then his thumb is at my collarbone, brushing away blackened ash as if touching me is the only prayer he has. The crowd exists, but less. The fire crackles, but distant. He's looking at me like he's been underwater for years and I'm oxygen. Celene appears at the edge of the scene, eyes wide and complicated. She stops. Doesn't speak. I don't either. For once, there's nothing to perform. It was deliberate, I say instead, sliding the lacquered box into his free hand. Someone sent this. And there was a man with a scent like frostbite. Damon's mask snaps back on, but it's threaded with something bright and dangerous. Show me. I open the lid. He reads the card. His jaw goes granite. We're leaving, he says, too calm. To where? I ask. Home. Now I nod. Fine. But your ex is going to think I'm winning. He finally smiles. Not a ghost this time. A weapon. Good, he says, taking my hand in a grip that feels like a vow. Let her. We move through the crowd like a single animal. Behind us, the fire flares again and the alpha's voice rises in clipped orders. Ahead, the path splits. One stair to the beta quarters, the other toward the old library. Damon pulls left. Not home? I ask. Library, he says. There's a ledger there. Old enemies, old symbols. That seal, he lifts the card, isn't random. We slip into the cool hush of stone and paper. The library smells like dust and animal wisdom. He leads me between shelves to a locked cabinet, produces a key from a chain under his shirt, and opens it to reveal a thick, claw-scored book bound in dark hide. Family business? I ask. Pack business, he corrects, laying it flat. He flips to a page marked by a strip of red ribbon and reveals a ring of hand-drawn crests. He taps one with two neat crescents bracketing a smear. My stomach goes cold. It's the stamp from the wax. The Night Orchard, he says. A rogue syndicate. They send fruit baskets or threats? I ask. Both, he says, mouth hard. They kill slowly. Fun. I lean in. And what do they want with what my husband won't touch? He looks up. The room seems to inhale. You, he says simply. They want you. The silence that follows is a cliff. I smile, small and sharp. Finally, I say, someone sends me love letters. Damon doesn't smile back. His hand covers mine on the ledger, heat and steel. Lila, he says, voice wrecked. You're under my protection. Am I? I ask, breath uneven. Because up until 10 minutes ago, I was under your indifference. His eyes flash wolf gold, quick and gone. I see you, he says, the words like blood and oath. I should have before. I do now. The door creaks at the far end of the stacks. A whisper of wrong scent slides under the shelves. Damon's head snaps toward the sound. My wolf rises to her feet inside me. High ground? I murmur. No, he says, stepping in front of me as shadows pool. Behind me. I reach instead for the blade tucked into my garter. Small, silver, sensible. Beside you, I correct. The dark laughs softly. And then the library lights go out. Chapter 4. Darkness has a sound. It's the low hum of panic your body makes before your brain catches up, the drumbeat of heart against bone, the whisper of fabric as someone moves where they shouldn't. And right now, that sound fills the library. Stay close, Damon says, his voice a command wrapped in gravel. I'd say ladies first, but you'd probably faint, I whisper back, gripping the silver knife strapped to my thigh. Somewhere in the black, a breath hitches. Not mine, not his. My wolf's fur rises inside me, hot lightning crawling up my spine. For months she's been silent, suppressed under duty and resentment. But now she's awake. Left, she growls in my head. I pivot just as a figure lunges from between the shelves. Damon's arm flashes up, blocking the blow meant for me. Metal screeches against metal, sparks spit. The intruder's eyes gleam, not wolf gold, not human brown, but red. Wrong. Rogue, Damon snarls, shoving him back. What do you want? The man grins, teeth too sharp. To finish what your father started. Then he throws a smoke bomb. Smoke floods the aisles, thick and chemical. My lungs scream, my vision swims. Great, I cough, dragging Damon toward the open archway. Romantic library date with gaslighting and actual gas. Love that for us, Lila. I know, behind you. I swing my blade low. It slices fabric, flesh. The rogue howls, stumbling back into the darkness. Damon grabs my wrist, pulling me through a side door. We slam it shut, coughing, breathing, alive. My heart sprints, my hands shake, but I'm grinning. You okay? He studies me, chest rising and falling, eyes half wild. You could have been killed. Could have, I say lightly. But I wasn't. You're welcome for the assist, Beta Braveheart. His hand tightens on my arm. You think this is a game? No, I say, stepping closer until the heat between us turns reckless. I think this is the first time you've actually looked at me. For a moment, there's no fire, no intruder, no pack, just us. His eyes flick to my mouth. My pulse answers. I've always looked, he admits, voice low. That's the problem. My breath catches. Then why did you make me feel invisible? He exhales, jaw clenched. Because loving you felt like betrayal. To her, to the pack, to everything I thought I knew, so you punished me for your guilt? He winces. I punished myself. You just got caught in the crossfire. The truth lands heavy between us. Pain, raw and honest. For the first time I see the man behind the beta, not the soldier, not the heir, but the boy still bleeding from an old goodbye. And I hate that it makes me soften. A crash interrupts us. The sound of glass shattering from the east wing. Damon's body moves before his mind does, stepping protectively in front of me. My wolf growls low. They're not alone. Multiple, I whisper. He nods. 2 at least. What do? We fight, he says, unsheathing his blade. Then we run. I grin, bearing a hint of fang. Finally, a date that suits my personality. We burst through the door, into chaos. 2 rogues dart between shelves, moving with unnatural speed. Their scent is rot and ice, something half dead, half magic. Damon meets one mid-swing, steel clashing in a shower of sparks. I duck under the other's arm and stab upward, catching flesh. Blood sprays, black, oily, not human. The rogue snarls, backhanding me into a shelf. Books crash around me, raining down like angry paper snowflakes. Ow, I grunt. That's coming out of your security deposit. Damon grabs the rogue's throat, slamming him against the wall hard enough to crack plaster. Who sent you? The orchard, he chokes. She's the key. The last link. My stomach flips. I hate being mysterious. Damon's blade ends the sentence. Clean, final. The other rogue bolts, dissolving into shadow before I can move. Then silence, smoke curling, blood cooling. We stand amid the wreckage, breathing in sync. My shoulder throbs, my heart doesn't care. He turns to me. You're hurt. I glance down at my shoulder. Torn fabric, shallow slice. Just a love tap. He steps closer anyway, fingertips brushing the wound. My breath stutters. His scent, storm, cedar, moonlight, surrounds me. You shouldn't have been there, he murmurs. And you shouldn't have underestimated me, I whisper. His gaze drops to my lips again. The tension is thick enough to choke on. He leans in, slow, uncertain, electric. Damon, I breathe. He stops an inch away. Tell me not to. I can't. I should, but the words won't come. Then the emergency lights flicker on, snapping us back to reality. Footsteps echo in the hall, guards, voices, the Alpha's command booming down the corridor. We step apart, masks back in place. Alpha Rowan storms in, silver hair gleaming under the half-light. Report. Damon straightens instantly. 2 rogues. Neutralized. 1 escaped. The Alpha's gaze shifts to me. And you? Still sarcastic, I say. Slightly stabby, but otherwise fine. He doesn't smile. You shouldn't have been involved, Mrs. Rowan. I bristle. Tell that to the rogue who wanted to use me as target practice. Rowan studies the blackened blood on the floor, the cracked seal in Damon's hand. The night orchard hasn't moved in decades. Why now? Damon hesitates. They mentioned her being a link. He nods toward me. The Alpha's jaw tightens. Then she's not leaving pack territory again. Understand? Excuse me? Hold on, I say, crossing my arms. You're putting me under house arrest for being stabbed at? It's protection, Rowan says. It's control, I counter. There's a difference. Damon looks torn between duty and me, the eternal tug of war. Do what you must, the Alpha says, turning away. If they want her, they'll come again. Next time, be ready. The guards follow, leaving the silence bruised and heavy. When they're gone, I finally exhale. Well, that was fun. Next time, let's invite fewer murderers. Damon doesn't smile. He just stares at me, something unreadable burning behind his eyes. What? I ask. He steps closer. They're not wrong. About what? That you're a link. His voice softens. Your mother's line, the healer blood. The orchard hunted it once before. You're what they couldn't capture. I blink. So I'm, what, magical bait with great hair? His jaw tightens. You're more important than you know, and if they come for you again, I'll... What? Actually care this time? His silence hurts more than I expect. Then quietly, I already do. The room stills. My heart stumbles, traitorous thing. But before I can answer, he reaches up and brushes a thumb along my jaw. Reverent, dangerous, grounding. You're under my protection now, he says, voice hoarse. I meet his gaze. About time. The heat between us simmers, unsaid, unresolved. But something's changed. something irreversible. Chapter 5. You can smell tension before you see it. Like ozone before a storm, sharp, charged, inevitable. That's how the days after the attack feel. The whole pack is on edge, guards double-shifted, wards reactivated. And me? I'm suddenly public enemy number 1 for daring to exist with a target on my back. The Alpha assigns Damon to shadow me, which is rich considering he's been doing that emotionally for years. Now it's literal. Day 1 of babysitting hell, I'm watering the herb garden when I sense him watching. You know, I call without turning, stalking your wife doesn't count as bonding. Damon's voice drifts from behind me, smooth and clipped. I'm not stalking. I'm protecting cute semantics. Very alpha light of you. His footsteps crunch closer. You should be inside. The wards are weaker this close to the tree line, and miss the opportunity to traumatize the rosemary? No thanks, he sighs. Long-suffering, low, almost fond. Almost. My wolf hums, restless beneath my skin. Lila, he says quietly. Last night changed things. Yeah, I say. My dress died a hero, and I developed a mild addiction to adrenaline. He exhales through his nose. I mean between us. Oh, I turn, wiping dirt from my hands. Did you finally decide I exist? His mouth tightens. I should have seen you sooner. Should've, could've, would've, I say. But you didn't. He steps closer. I'm trying now. The words hang there, raw, uncertain. Something about his tone breaks through my sarcasm just for a breath. I swallow. Then stop standing in my shadow. Stand with me. And then, maybe because fate has a sense of humor, my wolf purrs, loudly. Damon freezes. Did your wolf just... She's opinionated, I say quickly. Ignore her. Can't, he murmurs. She sounds possessive. I clear my throat. She's feral. Doesn't count. But his gaze lingers, warm and strange. For once, I can't look away. That night, I dream of my mother, of the garden behind our cottage, glowing herbs, ancient sigils etched into the soil. She always said our bloodline wasn't built for war, but for restoration. Light doesn't always heal, she told me once, pressing my hand to my heart. Sometimes it burns away what's sick. I never understood that until now, because the moment Damon started thawing, something inside me, that dormant magic, that wolf I barely know, began to stir. And the mark on my wrist, the faint crescent I'd had since birth, has begun to glow. By dawn, the mark pulses faintly, silver under my skin. I wrap it in a bandage and march straight into Damon's office because subtlety is overrated. He looks up from a stack of reports. Morning. Don't morning me, I say, unwrapping the bandage and slamming my arm on his desk. Explain this. His eyes widen. Lila. It started after the attack, I say. It burns when I'm angry. It hums when you're near. And before you ask, no, it's not a weird skin reaction to stress. He's silent for a beat, then says softly, It's a mate mark. I blink. Excuse me? His jaw clenches. It's dormant. Subconscious. But your wolf recognizes mine. That's why it's reacting now. I laugh. A sharp, incredulous sound. So let me get this straight. You ignored me for years, and now fate's like, surprise soulmates. He meets my gaze, steady. It's always been there. I just refused to see it. Refused, I echo. What an excellent verb for our marriage. He stands, rounding the desk until he's inches away. Lila, I can't change the past. But I can stop pretending I don't feel this now. His hand reaches for mine, hovering just above the mark. Let me see it, he murmurs. I should walk away. I should make him work harder. But when his fingers brush my skin, heat floods through me, the kind that feels like recognition, like a pulse answering another pulse. His voice drops. Every time you speak, every time you laugh, it gets stronger. The bond, it's waking up. Great, I whisper. Maybe it can teach us communication skills. He smirks faintly. You'd still talk over it. True. Then his thumb traces the glowing crescent. My breath catches. Say my name, he says softly. Damon. It's barely a word, more like a surrender. And when he leans in, slower this time, deliberate, I let him. His lips brush mine once, tentative, testing, before deepening. The mark flares. Silver light arcs between us, wild and bright. We break apart, gasping. What was that? I whisper. He stares at my wrist. The bond sealing. My heart stutters. Wait, sealing? As in permanent? He nods, unless one of us rejects it. Silence. Then, because panic is my coping mechanism, I blurt, So do I get a membership card, or... He laughs quietly, the sound rough, real. You're unbelievable. Thank you, I say, half dazed. I try. Before the moment can turn soft, the intercom crackles. Beta, the guard's voice says, static-lined. The orchard sent another message. Damon curses. Of course they did. He grabs the receiver. What kind of message? Pause. Then the guard's voice drops. A body. With her name carved into it, cold crawls up my spine. My wolf snarls. Guess the honeymoon phase is over, I mutter. Damon's eyes meet mine, all beta steel now, every trace of tenderness replaced with fury. This ends tonight, he says. We gather in the council chamber, Alpha Rowan, Celene, a handful of warriors, and me because apparently I'm the prize in this bloody raffle. They're escalating, Rowan says grimly. The orchard's not after the pack. They're after her bloodline. They think they can harvest her power. Celene looks at me. What power? I shrug. Unless sarcasm counts, I'm as useless as a silver spoon. Damon shakes his head. You're not useless. That mark activated because of your heritage, and because of me, Celene flinches. Damon doesn't notice. I do. And it's satisfying. Then we use me as bait, I say. Draw them out, finish this. No, Damon growls. Absolutely not. Oh, come on. I'm the literal reason they're here. I won't risk you. And I won't sit in a safe house like some damsel with good lighting. Our voices echo. The room holds its breath. Finally, Rowan cuts in. You both will go. Together. She'll draw them out, you'll protect her, and God's help you if either of you dies. I'm not planning another alliance wedding this decade. Comforting, I mutter. Later, as we prepare to leave, I find Damon sharpening his blades by the window. The moonlight paints him silver. You always look this dramatic, I say. Or is this a special occasion? He smirks without looking up. You're impossible. And yet you kissed me. His hand still. That was real, I interrupt softly. He lifts his gaze, something fierce and unguarded flickering there. Yes, real, I step closer. Then don't protect me out of guilt. Protect me because you want to. He stands, closing the distance until I feel his breath against my forehead. I do. For a long moment we just stand there, two wolves caught between chaos and confession. Outside the forest hums, inside fate grins. Chapter 6. They say wolves fight best under the full moon. Turns out, I fight best when someone carves my name into a corpse. Motivation's a hell of a drug. The plan is simple. I walk into the forest clearing wearing a tracker rune. Damon hides in the shadows with two of Rowan's best scouts. The rogues take the bait. We ambush. Game over. Except nothing about my life has ever been simple. The air in the woods feels wrong, thick, humming, too quiet. My wolf prowls inside me, restless. The moon hangs low and swollen, lighting every leaf silver. I step into the clearing and call out, All right, orchard psychos, you've got my RSVP. Let's make this quick. I have skincare to get back to. Silence. Then a whisper. So much like your mother. The voice slides from the dark like oil. I turn. The man who steps forward wears a smile carved from rot, cloaked, tall, eyes the color of bruised sky. Who are you? I demand. He inclines his head. Call me Malric. Your mother's gift bled through to you, didn't it? The light that heals and burns. My mother's gift was sarcasm, I say. You'd hate it. He laughs softly. You joke because you're afraid. But we've waited for your bloodline to awaken. The healer's magic twisted with a beta's strength. It will balance the scales. By balance, you mean kill, right? He tilts his head. Sacrifice is such an ugly word. My wolf growls. Now, Lila, Damon's voice crackles through the communicator in my ear. I twist the ring on my finger, the signal. But before the backup arrives, Malric moves fast, too fast. His hand flicks out, chanting something low. Roots explode from the ground, wrapping around my legs, my arms, pinning me in place. Oh, I hate magic gardeners, I hiss. Damon bursts into the clearing like a storm in human form. His eyes are gold, his teeth bared. Get your hands off my mate, he snarls. Malric grins. Ah, the beta husband. How touching. Tell me, does she know what your father did to her family? Damon freezes. What? Malric's grin widens. Your father led the raid that wiped out her mother's coven. The last healers of Silver Hollow. He ordered it, claimed they were working with rogues. She was the only survivor. The world tilts. I stare at Damon. Tell me he's lying. Damon's face is pale, stricken. Lila, I didn't know. I swear to the moon I didn't know. But the roots around me tighten and my rage surges hotter than fear. Your bloodline killed mine. Lila, please. Malric laughs, raising his hands. Perfect. Let the bond break itself. The mark on my wrist flares, silver turning black. My wolf howls inside, torn between love and fury. Stop! Damon shouts, stepping forward, but Malric's magic lashes out, a whip of dark energy that slams into his chest, throwing him back into a tree. Damon! I scream. Something inside me snaps. My mother's words echo. Light doesn't always heal. Sometimes it burns away what's sick. I stop fighting the bond. I stop fighting me. Silver light floods from my skin, ripping through the vines like smoke through silk. The mark on my wrist blazes, no longer a crescent, but a full moon. Malric stumbles back. Impossible. Surprise, I say, voice layered with my wolf's growl. I'm my mother's daughter. The light explodes outward, burning through the clearing. The vines crumble, the runes on Malric's arms sear black. He screams, twisting in the brightness. When it fades, he's gone, disintegrated into ash that sparkles faintly before the wind carries it away. Silence falls, then a groan. Damon! I rush to him, dropping to my knees. Hey, don't you dare die, I still haven't yelled at you properly. He opens one eye, wincing. You glow when you're angry. That's new, I laugh through tears. Yeah, add it to my resume. He reaches up, brushing a shaking thumb over my cheek. I'm sorry, Lila. For everything. For not seeing you. For what my family did, I know, I whisper. But you're not your father, and I'm not my past. The mark between us pulses again, no longer angry but steady. Whole. He exhales. So we're still married, I say, smiling faintly. But now it's mutual. By the time the others arrive, the clearing looks like a battlefield painted by moonlight. Rowan surveys the ash, frowning. The orchard won't recover from this. Good, I say. They're not welcome in my forest anyway. Celene steps forward, her eyes soft when she looks at Damon. You saved her. He glances at me. No, she saved me. My heart trips. Celene nods and walks away without another word. The chapter finally, mercifully, closes. Days pass, the pack settles, the moon wanes. Damon finds me on the balcony again, barefoot, staring at the trees. He steps beside me, close but not crowding. You're thinking too loud, he murmurs. Blame the wolf, I say. She's still mad we almost died. She'll get used to me, I smirk. Bold of you to assume she likes you. He grins. You do. I turn to him, arching a brow. Who says? You haven't stabbed me in 2 days. I call that progress, fair point. He sobers, reaching out to tilt my chin toward him. I meant what I said, Lila. You're my mate, my equal. And I'll spend the rest of my life proving it. I study him for a long moment, the beta who used to flinch from my laughter, now standing here looking at me like I'm the moon itself. Fine, I say, voice soft, but don't expect quiet loyalty. He smiles. Wouldn't dream of it. Then he kisses me. Properly, deeply, no hesitation, no ghosts. The mark between us glows faintly, not as a brand, but as a promise. When he pulls back, I grin against his lips. You know, I murmur, you wanted quiet loyalty. And I got sarcasm in heels, he finishes, smiling. Exactly. Epilogue. They say the forest never forgets. Maybe that's true. But tonight, under the silver hush of the full moon, it feels like it's finally forgiven me. The clearing where the night orchard burned is green again, wild flowers where ash once was. A new beginning rooted in something fierce and fragile. 6 months later. I'm standing at the edge of the pack house garden, pruning moon blossoms that keep growing faster than I can manage. My mark still glows faintly like a heartbeat. Damon says it's because I never stop moving. I say it's because fate's afraid to fall asleep around me. Behind me the door creaks. Heavy footsteps. Familiar scent. You're up early, he murmurs, voice warm against my neck. Technically, I never slept. My wolf's nesting. He chuckles, hands sliding around my waist, chin resting on my shoulder. You mean she's over-decorating the nursery? Same thing. Because yes, apparently fate wasn't done with me. The mark between us sealed more than our bond. It sparked life. A heartbeat beneath mine, faint and new, growing stronger each week. The healer says it's rare for a beta and an omega hybrid to conceive so easily after a bonded awakening. I told her, of course it's rare. I'm a walking plot twist. Silver Hollow's been quiet. The orchard remnants scattered. The Alpha Council offered me an official role. Luna Consort, they called it, though I told them I prefer Minister of Mild Anarchy. Damon didn't argue. He never does anymore. He listens. He laughs. He even lets me drive his car, which is growth. And sometimes when the moon is full and our wolves run side by side through the trees, he'll glance back at me like he still can't believe I stayed. He doesn't realize I didn't stay. I chose. Celene left the pack a few months ago, off to broker peace treaties for the northern clans. Before she left, she found me in the garden. I was wrong about him, she said softly. No, I told her, you were just early. She smiled, and for the first time it wasn't wistful, just grateful. We parted like grown women do, with forgiveness, not fire. Tonight is the annual full moon feast, the same festival where everything fell apart last year. This time it feels different. The bonfire crackles high and bright. Music spins through the air. The pack dances, laughs, howls. I sit at the head table beside Damon, my hand resting over our small secret. He looks at me the way he used to look at battle, with reverence and a hint of awe. When the Alpha raises his goblet to toast, Damon beats him to it. To the woman who burned a forest and rebuilt it greener, he says. To my mate, my equal. My chaos in heels. The crowd cheers, my cheeks heat. I rise, smirking. And to the man who thought silence was safer than love, thanks for finally listening. Laughter ripples through the tables, easy and alive. Damon grins, pulling me close. You'll never stop teasing me, will you? He murmurs. Not while I'm breathing. Good, he says, kissing my forehead. That's my Luna. Later, when the feast quiets and the stars spill like glitter across the sky, we walk to the clearing, our clearing, where it all changed. The moonlight brushes over the scar in the earth, now covered in flowers. Damon kneels, placing his hand over the soil. She'd be proud of you, he says quietly. My mother? He nods. I smile. Maybe. But knowing her, she'd still critique my posture. He laughs, and the sound fills the night. My wolf hums in contentment. For the first time in years, there's no ache in my chest. Just peace, wild, radiant, earned. If fate is a wolf, then I stopped running. I learned to bare my teeth, to laugh when destiny growled back. Because being the beta's wife was never my story. It was just the prologue to becoming the Luna who chose herself. So if you believe love can rise from ruins and that laughter can be rebellion, hit subscribe. You're part of my pack now. If you'd stand tall under your own moon, share this story with your pack. And remember, fate might bite, but we bite harder.